we talking money. I want to keep talking money. If when I talk money, it makes you look. You notice how my energy, my demeanor changed. If it makes you uncomfortable, that's unfortunate, because if you are uncomfortable talking about money, you will never, ever, ever, ever have the amount of wealth you deserve in order to have the life that you desire. So first and foremost, maybe I need to do a whole session on how to be comfortable talking about money. If you need more help with that, that's in Money Management Entrepreneurs, the book that is out. First we were pre-selling because it was going to print, but we actually have physical copies of it. So they're sitting on my desk because I'm signing them. Because all of the ones in the original shipments, and as many as I can, I try to sign before we ship it. But be comfortable talking about money. Because if you cannot verbalize your desires, if you cannot speak clearly about where you are and what you want, then you won't have it. I talk about that all the time. But I want to talk about something specifically when it comes to money. So, and as I, go, whatever questions come up, make sure you communicate them to me, whether that's you happen to the DMs, the websites, the comments, what have you. But what I want to talk about more specifically is when I wake up in the mornings. And I thought about this as I was doing. Every morning I wake up, I look at the time. I do now that, things are so different. I wake up at different times. However, one of the many things, and I meditate, I stretch, I drink fluids, not as many as some people say they drink 8 ounces. I try as soon as I wake up, but eventually I get to, the recommended amount. I drink water, I meditate, I stretch and or work out or head to the pool or to the trainer, whatever the day requires. But something that is such a habit to me that I don't even realize that I do, and something I recommend you begin to do, is I go and check my money. So I'm going to give you an example. If you had a little baby, if you ever had a little baby, or if you plan to have a little baby, if you've ever babysat a little baby because you're not going to have a baby of your own, when you wake up in the morning, you go peeking on the baby to make sure a few different things. The baby is still breathing. If it's your first time having a baby, I know I did. To make sure the baby is okay. The baby's still there, but you check the baby. Sometimes the baby's up and that's why you're up, but you check the baby to make sure the baby is all right, and whatever that means. It is the same thing with money. You must not ignore your money if you expect it to grow and be nurtured. So one of the first things I do, if you know anything about the stock markets, the stocks open about 9. Sometimes you'll see some movement before then. They call it, pre-openings, and I don't know all the logistics of what it's called before it opens. I know how to buy, sell, call, put. That's another conversation. So between 8:30 and 9 o'clock, you start to see some movement. By 9 o'clock, though, you're in full swing with the investments. I always go and check my investments before the stock market opens, and I'll explain why. I do it before it opens in case I wanted to sell, buy something. I see where it is, and I start watching it to see what the numbers are. I watch before I sell or buy. Sell or buy. And I'm not always selling. I'm usually buying. Sometimes you might need to sell. And then I check it again close to 9 o'clock. I also check my bank accounts. I check investments. I check my daughter's accounts. I check my wallets. I check my money every morning when I wake up. Because what I find is if I'm aware, I check my merchant accounts. I talked about the importance of having merchant accounts. I check them all daily. I may not check them all before 9 a.m. because you're like, damn, I got to do all of that before 9 o'clock. But they all get checked. Especially the ones that are very fluid, that are very frequent, that are in high movement. So why? Why do I do this? So I spoke in Money Management about something that I talked about in my first book, but in Money Management, my latest book, I spoke about the fact that when I was broke, I stopped checking my accounts. I stopped checking how much money was moving in my accounts. What happens is I stayed broke longer. What I realized is that I needed to start calculating every penny, every dollar, every cent that came into my accounts, because it allowed me to know where I was every day. It allowed me to know how far or how close I was to my desires and my dreams. So I still practice the same habits, and I'm very hands-on with my money. I'm very hands-on on what comes into the business. I may not make every dollar that comes in because I have people that work for me and with me, but I know what hits the account, what needs to be transferred, who needs to be paid, and where we are with the money. So I check my investments several times a day. I watch what's happening with the ebbs and flows. I check my bank account several times a week. I don't check them every day because but I also have merchant accounts. I check the merchant accounts every day, which are linked to my bank accounts and sometimes many times get transferred to the bank account or used for expenses. So I check my money. I watch my money, because if you are planning to have more of anything, it must be nurtured. You cannot just throw the money. You can, and you might get lucky. Just throw it out there and let it go. If you really plan to make more money and position yourself in wealth and have what you desire, you must learn to monitor your money as if it is that little baby. It must become that little baby that when you wake up in the morning, you go peek in the baby's room. If you joining late, we was using an example of a baby. It must be that important to you. Money is not the most important thing in the world. I'm going to dispel a few things that are going through your head. I already know. Money is not the root of all evil. The love of money is the root. Being concerned about how your money is doing is not wrong. Watching your money to make sure that you are taking care of it and making sure that it is working for you is only going to allow you to attract more money. Because if you know so for me with the investments, if I know what the stock market is doing and I'm watching something that's historically done very well drop, then I know to move in and buy more stock of that nature. And then the very next day or the next hour, sometimes it jumps up and I immediately make money because I'm mindful of it. My merchant accounts, I know how much money that my tax company, I know how much money we make every day. Even if I'm not in the office and I have not touched anything to do with it. I know how much money we make every day, so I know how much advertising is necessary. I know how many people we need on the floor. I know how many clients are being helped. I know how many people's refunds are being distributed. I understand that. And as a result, I make more money. I'm aware of the money I'm making, so I make more money. So it's going to be very important that if you do not already have the habit of checking your money, when you get off of here, go check an account. Go check an account. Go just check it. And if it makes you sad, then you need to check it every day. Check it every day and see how the money flows. So if you get paid and you spend all your money within a few days, you need to be aware of that. I'm not saying stop or start or anything. You need to be aware of where your money is going. That's another reason I check my accounts, because I want to know where the money is. Is it with me? Is it with Popeyes? Where is my money? I want to know what I'm spending it on, because if I don't, then I cannot have what I say I want. You have to be aware of where you are and where you want to be. There's a gap between that. For some of us, the gap is small. For some of us, the gap is really large. But you need to know where you are and where you want to be. I'm giving y'all coaching stuff now. My clients pay for this. They might hop on and be like, hold up, I pay for this. But I'm going to give it to you anyway. So if you know where you are and where you want to be, then you'll know what's in between there, what you have to do to get from where you are to where you want to be. If you don't even know where you want to be and what's the gap? And what I mean by gap is, I'm going to buy a new house. I love this house. This house is amazing. I'm not even going to lie to you. People come here and they're in awe. Great. I love it. But this is not the end all be all. So I, one, need to know how much my next house is going to cost. I then need to know how much money I have right now in comparison to what I want. And then I need to know the gap. So this is what I need. And if you don't spend that type of time with your money, then you always think you're okay or you always think you're struggling. Either way, you're never fully appreciative and nurturing what you have. If you always think you're struggling, then you're always overspending. You never really nurture your money. You're never really satisfied with it. If it was a relationship, it would break up with you. Money is a relationship. So if you're always mad at it, it's always struggling, you always say, oh, God, I never have enough money. You're always angry about it. It's going to elude you. If you're always overspending, it's going to show you more things to spend it on because at least you're paying it attention. So this is the secret. A lot of people don't look at money as a relationship, but it is. And what type of relationship do you have with your money? For me, we have a peaceful, loving, committed relationship. I love my money and my money loves me. So in return, my money takes care of me and I take care of it. I pay attention. I call it every day. I check on it. I say, how you doing? Let me look at the stocks. Let me look at my, and y'all are like, she crazy. That's fine. But I'm paid though. So, I call it by going onto the stock markets to see what we did. Oh, look at you showing off, I go into my bank accounts and be like, I need to make sure I send you some flowers. Flowers is more digits, more deposits. You need a little more attention. Or I say, okay, look at you. You showing you giving love back. Whatever, however you look at it. But me and mine, we in love. I love mine. I carry it around with me in the form of cash in my wallet. And credit and debit cards. We do the thing. So what type of relationship, I know I'm cutting up, right? What type of relationship you have with your money will determine what type of relationship your money has with you. And a small thing that many people don't do is spend time with their money on a daily, regular basis. I spent a whole session once, and I can revisit it later, on how I still manage a lot of my money by hand. I would show y'all, but then y'all gonna see a little something. But I itemize my mortgage, my car, I line by line, this is how much this is how much I made, this is where I am, this is where I need to be, blah, blah, and I do it. I do it by hand so I can see. I see it, and I still, with the amount of money that comes in, with the employees that I have to pay through payroll, with the expenses that I have, I still make time to do it by hand, at least twice a month, my expenses. I do it on purpose, not because I have to. And so I say all of that to say, you must learn to spend time with things that are important to you. And if you are saying that money is important to you, if the things that you desire, and let's go up a level, you may think that money is not important to you. But what about food? What about a great place to live? Not just an okay, but a great place to live. What about a vacation? 1 a year, 2, 3. For me, I want one all the time. But, what about a vacation? What about school shoes for your kids? What about a reliable car? For me, I want fast and luxury and nice. But for you, that may not be important, and that's fine. But do you want something safe and reliable? All of those things are going to cost money. In order for you to get there, you must be okay with money. If you are okay with money, money will be okay with you. And then you can buy the things that you need. So you must form a loving relationship with the thing that's going to get you from where you are to where you want to be. And one way to do that is to spend regular, quality time understanding what you are in relationship with. Understanding how money moves, how powerful it is, the energy that comes along with what it's able to do for you. What doors it opens, what doors it closes. It can close a few stressful doors as well. More money can close off some of the things that's causing you not to sleep at night. So if all of these things can come from something that you have been so blasé about, then maybe shifting your nonchalant nature about something could be worth a try. And one way to do it is create a habit of spending time with your money on a regular basis. I do it. And ever since I've done it, I have never been begging for anything. I've had some lean months, but I've never gone without. We've always eaten. We've always had a very nice roof. And it's always just gone up from there. When I've understood that principle, it's always gone up. We've always, I say we because I think of my daughter as like one other person, another extension. But so consider that, and that's what I wanted to discuss